The Art of Strategic Solitude. How to use alone time as a superpower for clarity, creativity, and unbreakable self-reliance. Full audiobook. In a world addicted to noise, the ability to be productively alone is the ultimate competitive advantage for your mind and your career. That noise in your head, that constant ping of notifications, that endless scroll, that fear of missing out. It's not just distraction. It's dilution. It's diluting your focus, your creativity, your very sense of self. While everyone else is drowning in the collective noise, there is one place where true clarity and power are found, in strategic solitude. This is not loneliness. This is not isolation. This is the deliberate, powerful choice to withdraw from the crowd so you can hear the one voice that matters most, your own. The retreat begins now. Chapter 1. Your brain on noise, listen to that. That is not productivity. That is not connection. That is cognitive sabotage. Your brain is under attack, not from a foreign invader, but from the very devices you believe are serving you. You are living in a state of constant, low-grade neurological emergency, and you're calling it being productive. This ends now. It is time to understand the war being waged inside your own skull. The cognitive cost of constant connection. Your brain has a limited resource, your attention. It is the fuel for all meaningful work, all deep thought, all creative insight. And you are leaking this precious fuel with every ping, every buzz, every notification. This is not a metaphor. It is neuroscience. When you constantly switch between tasks, checking an email, then a text, then a social media alert, you are not multitasking. You are task switching. And with every switch, you pay a cognitive tax. Your brain must disengage from one context and re-engage with another. This fractures your focus. It shatters your concentration into 1,000 useless pieces. At the end of a day spent connected, you feel exhausted, not because you accomplished so much, but because your brain has been doing the neurological equivalent of a 100-meter dash back and forth all day long. Noise fractures focus. This state of reactive thinking keeps you in the shallow end of your own mind. You become a problem reactor, not a problem solver. You lose the capacity for deep work, the state of uninterrupted concentration that produces your most valuable insights. The world's most profound ideas, its most groundbreaking art, its most elegant solutions were not born in a frenzied scroll through a feed. They were born in the deep, silent pools of focused attention. You are trading depth for distraction. You have a choice. Be a reactive node in a network, or be a sovereign mind. Noise fractures focus. This addiction to switching has been sold to you as a virtue. It is your greatest weakness, the myth of multitasking excellence. You wear your ability to juggle 10 things at once as a badge of honor. You are celebrating your own incompetence. The brain cannot focus on 2 conscious tasks simultaneously. It can only toggle between them at high speed. And with every toggle, you lose time, you make errors, and you degrade the quality of your work. Studies show it can take over 23 minutes to fully regain deep focus after a single interruption. Think about that. One notification can cost you nearly a half hour of peak cognitive performance. You are not a master of multitasking. You are a slave to distraction. You are trying to serve 2 masters, and you are failing both. You cannot serve 2 masters. This lie is costing you your best work. The writer who constantly checks emails will never write a masterpiece. The programmer who is always in meetings will never architect an elegant system. The leader who is reactive to every alert will never develop a visionary strategy. Your brain is designed for serial processing, not parallel processing. When you force it to parallel process, it does everything poorly. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. And effectiveness requires a singular, undivided focus. You cannot serve 2 masters, so why do you do it? Why do you feel that compulsive pull to check, to scroll, to react? Because you are an addict, and your drug of choice is distraction. The first withdrawal symptom, boredom phobia, that feeling. The restless itch in your pocket, the anxiety that creeps in during a moment of silence, the unbearable need to pick up your phone in a lull. You call it boredom. It is not. It is withdrawal. Your brain has been conditioned to expect a constant drip of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of novelty and reward. The infinite scroll, the variable rewards of likes and notifications, this is a slot machine in your pocket. You have been psychologically engineered to be addicted to the noise. So when the noise stops, your brain panics. It screams for its next hit. This feeling of emptiness, this boredom, is not a void to be feared. It is the gateway. It is the space where your brain, no longer occupied with processing external stimuli, can finally turn inward. It can connect disparate ideas. It can process complex emotions. It can generate original thought. Boredom is not your enemy. It is your gateway. The next time you feel that itch, you will not reach for the device. You will sit with the discomfort. You will let the withdrawal symptoms wash over you. You will prove to your own nervous system that you are in charge, that you can withstand the silence. And in that silence, you will find a power that no notification can ever give you. Boredom is not your enemy. It is your gateway. The diagnosis is clear. The noise is a thief. Multitasking is a myth, and your boredom is a signal you have been misreading. Noise fractures focus. You cannot serve two masters. Boredom is not your enemy. It is your gateway. You have identified the disease. But a diagnosis is useless without a cure. The cure is not to do different things in the noise, but to find a different state entirely. The next chapter redefines the solution. Chapter 2. Solitude is not loneliness. You have diagnosed the disease. Your brain is drowning in noise. But the cure is not more noise of a different kind. The cure is its absolute opposite. Yet you resist it. You confuse it with its ugly cousin. You call it loneliness. You are wrong. You are about to learn the difference between a prison and a palace. It is time to redefine what it means to be alone. Redefining the alone experience. Loneliness is a state of lack. It is the painful feeling of being disconnected, unseen, and unwanted. It is involuntary. It is a void that aches to be filled by anyone, anything. Loneliness is passive. It happens to you. Solitude is a state of choice. It is the deliberate, powerful decision to withdraw for a purpose. It is not about being away from people. It is about being with yourself. Solitude is not empty. It is a sanctuary you build for your mind. It is a space for restoration, for thought, for creation. Loneliness is a void. Solitude is a sanctuary. This is the fundamental shift. You are not running from something. You are walking toward something. Toward clarity. Toward insight. Toward yourself. When you feel that twinge of anxiety about being alone, you must name it correctly. Is this the pain of loneliness, or is it the discomfort of withdrawal from your digital drug? You have a choice. See the silence as a punishment or claim it as your prize. Loneliness is a void. Solitude is a sanctuary. This is not a New Age concept. This is the timeless strategy of the world's most impactful minds. The historical power of the hermit. Look at the tapestry of human achievement. The brightest threads were all woven in solitude. Isaac Newton developed his theories on calculus and gravity while in isolation during the Great Plague. Nikola Tesla conceived his revolutionary AC motor during long solitary walks. Michelangelo spent years alone on scaffolding to create the Sistine Chapel. They were not lonely. They were focused. They understood that the crowd is where ideas go to die. The crowd breeds conformity, gossip, and reactive thinking. The solitary mind is where ideas are born, challenged, and refined. The quiet mind is the creative mind. Think of a master craftsperson in their workshop. The door is closed. The world is shut out. Inside, There is only the craftsman, their tools, and their vision. That workshop is not a place of exile. It is the forge of genius. You must build your own mental workshop. You must see your solitude not as a social failure, but as your personal forge. The greatest breakthroughs in your life will not happen in a committee meeting. They will happen in the quiet room of your own mind. The quiet mind is the creative mind. This practice does more than generate ideas. It forges an unshakable identity, building your self-reliance identity. Your addiction to constant connection is a search for external validation. You post to get likes. You speak to get nods of agreement. You refresh your inbox to feel needed. This is a fragile existence. Your sense of self becomes a mirror, reflecting only what others project onto you. If they look away, you cease to exist. Strategic solitude is the hammer that shatters that mirror. When you voluntarily spend time with yourself, you send a profound message to your subconscious. I am enough. You prove that your own company is valuable, that your own thoughts are worthy of your attention. You are no longer a beggar for validation. You are the source of your own worth. Your worth is not determined by your visibility. Every minute you spend productively alone is a deposit into your bank of self-reliance. You learn to trust your own judgment. You learn to enjoy your own company. You become the rock, not the weather vane spinning in the wind of popular opinion. The confident person is not the one who is constantly praised. It is the one who does not need the praise to begin with. It's not about what others think of you. It's about what you know of yourself. Your worth is not determined by your visibility. The redefinition is complete. The sanctuary is built. You now know that solitude is the chosen ground of genius and the training field for self-reliance. Loneliness is a void. Solitude is a sanctuary. The quiet mind is the creative mind. Your worth is not determined by your visibility. Knowing why you need solitude is not enough. You need the how. You need a daily battle plan. The next chapter is your field manual. Chapter 3, The Daily Solitude. Protocol knowledge is useless without action. Understanding the why of solitude is a philosophical exercise. Implementing the how is a revolutionary act. You will not find hours of free time. You will not magically clear your schedule. You will carve out sanctuary minutes with the ruthless precision of a surgeon. Your daily life is your training ground. This is your new protocol. Compliance is not optional. The non-negotiable morning silence. The first hour of your day is the rudder that steers the entire ship. If you grab your phone, you are letting the world's agenda, its emergencies, and its noise set your course. You are starting your day in a state of reaction. This is a catastrophic failure of leadership over your own life. From this day forward, the first 60 minutes after you wake are sacred. They are a device-free, input-free zone. No phone, no news, no email, no podcasts. This hour belongs to you and you alone. This is not a gentle suggestion. This is a non-negotiable contract you sign with yourself every single morning. In this silence, you set your intention. You remember who you are and what you are building before the world tells you who to be and what to do. Win the morning, win the day. What do you do in this hour? You live, you breathe. You might stretch. You might write in a journal. You might sip your coffee and look out the window. You might read a physical book. The activity is irrelevant. The state is everything. The state is one of self-possession. You are claiming your mind before it can be colonized. This single practice will do more for your focus and inner peace than 100 productivity hacks. You are building a foundation of calm that the day's chaos cannot crack. Win the morning, win the day, but 1 hour is not enough. You must inoculate your day against the plague of busyness. The nothing hour. You live by your calendar. It is a testament to your busyness, your importance. But it is also a cage. You have scheduled your life into a state of breathless exhaustion. You have forgotten how to simply be. You will now schedule one 60-minute block in your calendar every day, labeled Nothing Hour. This is not free time. This is not a gap to be filled. This is a strategic appointment with the most important person in your life, you. During this hour, you have no goal, no agenda. You do not consume content. You do not run errands. You simply exist. You take a walk with no destination. You sit in a park and watch the clouds. You let your mind wander without a leash. Schedule nothing to create something. This will feel agonizingly unproductive at first. Your addicted brain will scream that you are wasting time. That is the sound of your chains breaking. In the space of nothing, your subconscious mind gets to work. It connects the dots from your morning reading. It solves the problem you've been stuck on. It gives you the creative insight that relentless grinding never could. The most valuable ideas are not forced. They are allowed. They emerge from the fertile soil of unstructured time. Schedule nothing to create something. Your day has a beginning and a middle. It must also have a proper end, the digital sunset. You would not drink a double espresso right before bed. Yet you are doing something far more stimulating. You are scrolling through a vortex of blue light, shocking news, and social comparison. You are pouring cognitive adrenaline directly into your brain and then wondering why you cannot sleep, why you feel anxious. Instituting a digital sunset is not self-care. It is basic mental hygiene. 1 hour before your intended bedtime, all screens go dark. Phones, tablets, laptops, television. They are powered down, or better yet, left in another room. This is a hard stop. No exceptions. No just one last email. No quick scroll. This final hour of wakefulness is for processing, not consuming. It is for allowing the day's experiences to settle. It is for reading a physical book. It's for a quiet conversation. It's for listening to music. It's for stillness. This practice does two things. It dramatically improves the quality of your sleep by reducing blue light and mental agitation, and it gives your brain the silent space it needs to consolidate memories and learning from the day. Protect your silence to protect your sanity. The protocol is set. It is simple, but it is not easy. It demands discipline. It demands that you value your sanity over your availability. Win the morning, win the day, schedule nothing to create something. Protect your silence to protect your sanity. You have your battle plan for time. But time is only half the equation. You must now build a fortress in space. The next chapter is your architectural blueprint. Chapter 4, create your focus fortress. You have your time. You have your protocol. But without a physical space to defend it, your solitude will be overrun. Your willpower is a finite resource. You cannot win a war of attrition against an environment designed to steal your attention. The answer is not to become stronger. The answer is to build stronger walls. You must engineer your surroundings to make focus the easiest path, and distraction the most difficult. Your environment is not just a backdrop. It is an active participant in your cognitive life. The physical space audit. Look at your desk right now. What do you see? Clutter? A blinking router? A stack of unpaid bills? Every visual distraction is a tiny hook, pulling at your attention. Your brain is constantly processing this visual noise, draining the energy you need for deep work. You will now perform a ruthless audit. Your workspace must become a monastery for your mind. Start with the visual field. Remove everything from your desk that is not essential for your current most important task. Every single thing. That means no loose papers, no trinkets, no tangled cables. A clear surface signals a clear mind. Position your desk to face a wall, not a window or a busy hallway, to minimize visual movement. You are not being sterile. You are being strategic. Your environment is your willpower. This extends to your entire home. Create a specific chair for reading, a specific corner for thinking. Your brain will begin to associate these places with deep focus, making it easier to drop into that state. You are not just cleaning a room. You are programming your own psychology. You are building triggers for concentration. A cluttered space is a cluttered mind. A clear space is a command to focus. Your environment is your willpower, but your physical space is only half the battle. The digital world is a siege engine constantly pounding at your gates. Digital boundaries as armor. Your devices are not tools. They are slot machines designed to addict you. You cannot rely on your willpower to resist them. You must change the rules of the game. You must make distractions so difficult to access that it requires more effort than the focus it's trying to break. This is the principle of friction. Start with a nuclear option, app blockers. Install software that locks you out of social media, news sites, and other digital black holes during your focused work blocks. You are not blocking temptation. You are demolishing the bridge to it. Next, launch a notification genocide. Go into your phone's settings and turn off every single notification that is not from a human being you know and care about. Every marketing email, every app update, every game alert, silence them forever. Your phone should be a tool you use, not a master that summons you. Finally, enable a dedicated focus mode that activates automatically during your solitude protocol. Increase the friction of distraction. This is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate display of intelligence. The strongest warrior does not fight on an open battlefield. They fight from an impregnable castle. You are turning your digital life into that castle. Every setting you change is another stone in your wall. Increase the friction of distraction. With your physical and digital world secured, there is one final frontier. Your auditory environment, the sound of silence, or its substitute. Silence is golden. But for many, total silence is unnerving, making the pull of distraction even stronger. Your ears are gateways to your focus. You must control what comes through them. This is where you create an auditory bubble. Noise-canceling headphones are not a luxury. They are a strategic tool. When you put them on, you are sending a powerful signal to your brain and to the world. Do not disturb. You are building a wall of silence around your mind, but you don't need total silence. You can use sound to mask sound. The consistent, predictable hum of white noise or brown noise can drown out the unpredictable, distracting noises of a busy household or office. A conversation in the hall, a distant siren, a barking dog. Alternatively, ambient soundscapes like rain on a window, library sounds, or a quiet coffee shop murmur can provide just enough auditory stimulation to satisfy the brain's need for input without fracturing your focus. Control your sound, control your mind. Experiment. Find what works for you. The goal is to create a consistent, controlled auditory environment that your brain learns to associate with deep work. When those headphones go on and that soundscape begins, your mind will know it is time to dive deep. You are not just blocking out noise. You are conducting the soundtrack of your own concentration. Control your sound, control your mind. Your fortress is complete. The walls are built. The gates are secured. The environment is now your ally, not your enemy. Your environment is your willpower. Increase the friction of distraction. Control your sound. Control your mind. You have built your sanctuary. But a fortress can become a prison if you never leave it. The next skill is to take your focus on the road, to turn movement into your greatest thinking tool. The next chapter is about dynamic solitude. Chapter 5. The Art of the Thinking Walk. You have built your fortress of focus. But walls can become cages if you never leave them. There is a form of strategic solitude that is dynamic, not static. That uses motion to unlock the mind. You have been walking your entire life, but you have been doing it wrong. You plug in your headphones, you queue up a podcast, you turn your walk into another session of content consumption. You are pouring more noise into a mind that is desperate for silence. You are missing the entire point. It is time to reclaim the walk. Not as exercise, not as transportation, but as a moving meditation for your most brilliant thoughts. Movement as a cognitive catalyst. When you walk without external input, something remarkable happens in your brain. The rhythmic, repetitive motion of walking acts as a gentle metronome for your thoughts. It stimulates the brain's default mode network, DMN, the same network that lights up when you are daydreaming, reflecting, or making connections between disparate ideas. This is the state where true insight lives. It's not the state of focused, linear thinking you use to solve a math problem. It's the state of diffuse, non-linear thinking that solves the problem of your life, your business, your art. When you walk, you are not distracting your body to focus your mind. You are occupying your body to free your mind. The steady rhythm of your steps lulls the conscious, critical part of your brain into the background, allowing your subconscious to come to the fore. The body moves, the mind unlocks. Think of history's great peripatetic thinkers, Aristotle, Nietzsche, Steve Jobs. They didn't walk to get somewhere. They walked to think. They understood that the mind works best when the body is in gentle, rhythmic motion. The solution you've been pounding your head against for hours in your chair will often reveal itself effortlessly in the first 10 minutes of a silent walk. You are not just taking a walk. You are taking your mind for a walk. The body moves, the mind unlocks. To access this state, you must strip the walk of all performance pressure. You are not going for a workout, the no destination rule. You have turned everything into a performance. Even your leisure is measured in steps, in heart rate, in calories burned. This is the enemy of creative thought. The moment you put on a fitness tracker and set a goal, you have killed the thinking walk. You have made it a task. The rule for a thinking walk is simple: no destination. This is not about getting from point A to point B. This is not about hitting 10,000 steps. This is about wandering. You leave your phone behind, or you put it in airplane mode. You walk out your door with no route in mind. You follow a side street that looks interesting. You stop and look at a tree. You sit on a bench for 5 minutes and just watch. You are not lost. You are exploring. Wander with purpose. This purposelessness is the entire purpose. By removing the goal, you remove the pressure. You create a mental state of openness and receptivity. You are not forcing an insight. You are creating the conditions for one to arrive. The goal-oriented walk is a straight line. The thinking walk is a meandering river, and it's in the bends and curves that the most interesting ideas are found. Wander with purpose. There is a powerful way to structure this openness, to direct this unlocked mental energy toward a specific challenge. Problem-solving in motion. When you have a complex problem, a business challenge, a creative block, a personal dilemma, the worst thing you can do is sit at your desk and stare at it. You are just butting your head against a wall. The thinking walk is your way around the wall. Here is the technique. Before you begin your walk, you prime your mind. You state the problem to yourself, clearly and concisely, just once. How can I structure my team for better innovation? What is the core theme of the chapter I'm writing? What is the real root of the conflict I'm feeling? Then you let it go. You start walking. You do not actively try to solve it. You do not obsess over it. You simply hold the question in the back of your mind as you observe the world around you. The pattern of the leaves, the color of the sky, the feeling of the air. Your subconscious mind is now working on the problem, free from the constraints of your logical, linear consciousness. Don't force the idea. Let it find you, and it will find you. A connection will spark. A solution will appear, seemingly out of nowhere. This is the magic of the diffuse mode in action. The rhythm of your walk becomes the rhythm of your insight. You are not the frantic worker at the desk anymore. You are the receptive conductor, allowing the solution to emerge from the symphony of your own moving mind. Don't force the idea. Let it find you, the walk is complete. The mind is clear, You have learned to use motion as a key to your own inner genius. The body moves, the mind unlocks. Wander with purpose. Don't force the idea. Let it find you. You have mastered the art of dynamic solitude. But what about when you are perfectly still? What about the space where nothing happens? The next chapter embraces the most misunderstood state of all. The next chapter is about the power of the void. Chapter 6. Embrace the productive void. You have walked. You have moved. You have used motion to stir the mind. But now we go deeper, to the stillest point, the place you have been trained to fear above all else, the void. The space of nothing, the state of boredom. You see it as an enemy to be defeated. I am here to tell you it is the most fertile ground you will ever stand on. Your greatest ideas are not in the noise. They are waiting in the silence. It is time to stop running from nothing and start building everything from it. Boredom as an incubator. That restless, itchy, anxious feeling you call boredom is not a sign that your brain is shutting down. It is a sign that it is waking up. It is the cognitive equivalent of a field lying fallow. It looks empty, but beneath the surface, the soil is restoring itself, gathering nutrients, preparing for a new harvest. When you constantly feed your brain with external stimuli, videos, music, podcasts, social media, you are treating it like a passive consumer, a dump truck for information. But when you allow for boredom, you force your brain to become a producer. With no external input, it has no choice but to turn inward. It begins to play. It connects memories, ideas, and sensations in novel ways. This is the birthplace of original thought. This discomfort is the price of admission for a truly new idea. In the void, ideas are born. The next time you feel that twinge of boredom, do not reach for the phone. Lean into it. Welcome it. Say, good. My mind is ready to create. You are not being lazy. You are being an incubator. You are providing the empty space that creativity requires to take its first breath. The world's noise offers answers to questions you never asked. The void allows you to discover the questions that truly matter. In the void, ideas are born. To harness this, you must train your mind to withstand the initial discomfort. You must build your tolerance for stillness. The do-nothing exercise. Your brain's tolerance for stillness is a muscle that has atrophied. You must rebuild it. This is not meditation. This is more basic, more brutal. This is the deliberate practice of being alone with your thoughts, with zero external input. Here is the exercise. Find a chair, a simple straight-back chair. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Place your phone in another room. You will sit in this chair. You will do nothing. You will not meditate. You will not try to achieve enlightenment. You will not even try to clear your mind. You will simply sit. You will look at a blank wall. You will listen to the ambient sounds. You will feel the restlessness rise in your body. Your mind will rebel. It will throw a tantrum. It will bring you every worry, every to-do list item, every memory. Your job is to not react. Your job is to sit through the storm. Do not follow the thoughts. Just let them pass like clouds in a sky. You are not trying to achieve peace. You are trying to achieve presence. Sit with the silence until it speaks. The first 5 minutes will be agony. The next 5 a dull ache. In the final 5, something will shift. The frantic energy will dissipate. A subtle calm will emerge. And in that calm you might hear a whisper, an idea, a memory, a solution. This is the sound of your own mind, speaking to you without being shouted down by the world. This is the rep. This is the weight lifting for your attention. Do this daily. Sit with the silence until it speaks. Once you have created this space and built this tolerance, you cannot leave it empty. You must fill it with something worthy of the effort, from consumption to creation. The energy you are saving by not consuming digital junk food is immense. That energy is not gone. It is now available to you. You have been using your mental capital to build someone else's platform, to increase someone else's engagement metrics. It is time to invest that capital in your own empire. The shift is fundamental. You must move from being a passive consumer of content to an active creator of value. Every minute you reclaim from scrolling is a minute you can invest in bringing something new into the world. That thing does not need to be a masterpiece. It needs to be yours. Instead of watching a travel video, plan your own trip. Instead of liking a piece of art, draw something yourself. Instead of reading a blog, write 200 words of your own. Instead of listening to a podcast about business, sketch out a business idea. The medium does not matter. The act of creation does. Create more than you consume. This is the ultimate expression of a sovereign mind. A consumer asks, "What can I take?" A creator asks, "What can I make?" This is how you cement the value of your solitude. You are not just avoiding the world. You are building a better one, starting with the world of your own mind and hands. You are leaving a mark. You are turning the void into a verb. Create more than you consume. The void is no longer empty. It is full of potential. You have reframed boredom as an incubator. You have built the discipline to sit in stillness. And you have redirected your energy toward creation. In the void, ideas are born. Sit with the silence until it speaks. Create more than you consume. You have mastered the art of the small daily void. But to achieve true breakthroughs, you must occasionally go deeper. You must embark on a longer retreat. The next chapter is about your weekly pilgrimage into silence. Chapter 7. The weekly solo retreat, your daily practice, is the foundation. Your thinking walks are the spark. But to build a cathedral of thought, you need more than minutes. You need a sacred, uninterrupted block of time. A weekly pilgrimage into the depths of your own mind. This is not a luxury. This is non-negotiable maintenance for your most valuable asset, your potential. You will now command a 3-hour block of power. Every single week. No excuses. No negotiations. The 3-hour block of power. 60 minutes can clear the fog. But 3 hours can move mountains. This is the amount of time required for your brain to fully settle, to exhaust its surface-level anxieties, and to plunge into a state of profound depth. This is where you tackle the project that feels too big, where you conduct the life review that provides true direction, where you connect the dots that are invisible in the frantic pace of the everyday. You will schedule this block as you would a meeting with your most important client. Because you are the client. This time is sacred. It is protected by a firewall of intention. You do not reschedule it. You do not shorten it. You defend it with your life. During this block, you are completely offline and unreachable. This is your deep dive, your solo expedition. There is no middle ground. Go deep or go home. What you do with this time is critical. You do not fill it with busy work. You do not use it to clear emails. You dedicate it to one and only one high-level objective. Writing the cornerstone chapter of your book. Designing the new business strategy. Mapping out your financial future. Solving the core technical problem. This is the incubator for the work that will define you. Go deep or go home. But a 3-hour block without structure can be intimidating. The key is to provide a frame, not a cage. The Solitude Agenda. A minute-by-minute schedule will kill the creative magic. It will reintroduce the performance pressure you are trying to escape. But total aimlessness can lead to wandering into anxiety. The solution is the Solitude Agenda. Your agenda has 3 parts, and only 3. First, the prime question. What is the single most important question you want to explore? What is the core architecture of my new course? How can I restructure my team to foster more innovation? What is the next step in my personal growth? Second, the launch ritual. How will you begin? You might light a candle. You might make a special pot of tea. You might write the prime question at the top of a blank page. This ritual signals to your brain that you are crossing a threshold. Third, the tools. What will you use? A notebook? A whiteboard? A sketch pad? Have them ready. That's it. You have a direction, not a destination. This structure provides a compass, not a GPS. It tells you which way to head, but it allows for detours, for exploration, for unexpected discoveries. You are not ticking off tasks. You are following a thread of thought wherever it may lead. The goal is depth of engagement, not completion of a checklist. You are an explorer, not a tourist on a guided bus. Have a direction, not a destination. To ensure this exploration is fruitful, you must break the gravitational pull of your everyday environment. Location, scouting for insight. Your brain is lazy. It takes cognitive shortcuts. When you sit in the same chair, in the same room, day after day, your thoughts begin to run in the same well-worn ruts. You think the same thoughts. You have the same ideas. To think new thoughts, you need new sensory input. Your weekly retreat should often happen in a new location. The silent reading room of a library, a quiet corner of an art museum, a bench in a botanical garden, a different coffee shop, a rented studio space for the day. A new environment floods your brain with novel stimuli. The smell of old books, the sight of a painting, the pattern of light through a stained glass window. These are all new keys that can unlock new doors in your mind. Your brain is forced out of its automatic patterns and into a state of heightened awareness. New surroundings, new thoughts. This is a deliberate strategy for sparking insight. The change in scenery isn't just for ambience. It's a cognitive tool. It forces your brain to make new associations, to see your prime question from a new angle. The problem that seemed intractable at your desk may unravel effortlessly in the hushed grandeur of a library. You are not just changing your chair. You are changing your mind. New surroundings, new thoughts. The retreat is complete. The deep work is done. You have moved beyond maintenance and into transformation. Go deep. Or go home. Have a direction, not a destination. New surroundings, new thoughts. You have claimed your time and space for deep thought. But the world will not simply accept this. You must now learn to defend your solitude against its greatest threat, the expectation of constant availability. The next chapter is your guide to the graceful art of refusal. Chapter 8. Conquer the social. Chapter 8. Conquer the social apology. That sound, the ring, the buzz, the ping, is not just a request for your attention. It is a demand for your sovereignty, and you have been trained to obey. You jump, you respond. You make yourself available because you believe that your value is tied to your visibility, your responsiveness. This is a lie. The most valuable thing you can be is unavailable. It is time to stop apologizing for your own priorities. It is time to conquer the need to be constantly, uselessly, socially available. Breaking the busy addiction. You have been conditioned to wear busy as a badge of honor. You talk about your packed schedule. You complain about your lack of time. This is a performance of importance. But true importance does not need to perform. It is quiet. It is focused. It is deep. This performance is a trap. When you constantly signal that you are busy, you attract more busyness. People send you more requests because you have established yourself as someone who says yes. You become a dumping ground for other people's priorities. Your own priorities get buried under the avalanche. You are an empty vessel, making noise to convince the world you are full. Stop performing availability. Your new metric for success is not how many meetings you attended, but how many you gracefully declined. It is not how quickly you answered an email, but how long you protected your focus to do work that actually mattered. You must shift your identity from the person you can always get a hold of to the person who produces exceptional work. That person is not always available. That person is often gloriously unreachable. Stop performing availability. This new identity requires a new vocabulary. It requires the most powerful word in the language of personal freedom, the graceful no. You believe you need a good reason to say no. You feel you owe people a long, detailed explanation for why you cannot meet their demand. This is a form of self-sabotage. The moment you start explaining, you enter a negotiation. You invite debate. You leak your power. The word no is a complete sentence. It does not require an appendix. It does not need a justification. Your time is your territory, and no is the border guard. You do not owe anyone an inventory of how you will spend the time you are protecting. Here are your scripts. They are polite, firm, and closed for negotiation. For the casual invitation, thank you for thinking of me. I'm not available then, but I hope you have a wonderful time. For the recurring time drain, I've had to restructure my commitments, and I won't be able to continue with the activity. I wish you the best with it. For the vague, let's connect. My focus is on deep work right now, so my availability is very limited. If you have a specific proposal, feel free to email it over. Notice, no apologies. No elaborate excuses. Just a clear, respectful boundary. You are not rejecting the person. You are honoring your prior commitment to your own growth. No is a complete sentence. This will feel uncomfortable at first. People may be surprised. Good. You are resetting their expectations of you. You are teaching people how to treat you by showing them what you truly value. No is a complete sentence. To make this sustainable, you must architect your life to support your no. You must build the fortress of your time, reclaiming your unschedule. Your calendar is a visual representation of your priorities. Right now, it is likely a wall of text, meetings, appointments, deadlines. It is a monument to your reactivity. You must now perform the most radical act of calendar management. You will schedule nothing. Open your calendar for the upcoming week. Find a 3-hour block. Label it Strategic Solitude. Now, find several other 60 to 90-minute blocks. Label them Focus. Defend these blocks with the same ferocity you would defend a meeting with your most important client, because they are. These blocks are not empty. They are full of potential. They are the spaces where your best thinking happens, where your creativity ignites, where your future is built. Your blank space is your growth space. When a new request comes in, you do not look for free time. You look at your defended blocks and you say, I am not available. You have a prior commitment. To yourself, to your work, to your sanity. This is not a lie. It is the highest form of truth. The most important meeting you will ever have is the one you have with your own potential. That meeting is non-negotiable. Your blank space is your growth space. The apology is over. The performance has ended. You have broken the addiction to busy, mastered the graceful no, and reclaimed the unscheduled. Territory of your time. Stop performing. Availability no is a complete sentence here. Blank space is your growth space. You have secured your time and defended your boundaries. Now, you need a tool to process the clarity that emerges from this protected space. You need a system for your insights. The next chapter gives you your chief tool for clarity. Chapter 9. The Clarity Journal. Chapter 9. The Clarity Journal. Your mind is not a storage unit. It's a processing machine. And right now, yours is clogged. It's choked with forgotten tasks, half-formed ideas, simmering resentments, and that vague anxiety you can't even name. You're trying to think clearly through the static of 100 different channels all playing at once. You wonder why you feel distracted, overwhelmed, unable to focus on what truly matters. This is why. The solution isn't to think harder. The solution is to offload the noise. Your mission, starting today, is to stop using your skull as a filing cabinet. Your new weapon is the Clarity Journal. This isn't a diary. This isn't for poetry or documenting your feelings. This is an external hard drive for your brain. Its sole purpose is to download the mental clutter that is sabotaging your focus and your peace. Get it out of your head and onto the page. Think about that thing you're worried you'll forget to do. That awkward conversation from last week that keeps replaying. The brilliant business idea you had in the shower. Where does it live? In your head, rattling around, taking up valuable mental RAM. Every time it loops, it drains a little of your energy, a little of your focus. The command is simple. Get it out of your head and onto the page. The moment you write down email Frank about the project, your mind can stop clinging to it. The moment you scribble the fragment of that awkward conversation, you take away its power to haunt you. The action is the transfer. You are moving data from a volatile, emotional system to a cold, neutral, external one. Get it out of your head and onto the page. This is the foundational discipline of mental hygiene. Now let's weaponize this first thing in the morning. You wake up. What's the first thing you feel? For most of you, it's not inspiration. It's a low-grade fog of anxiety, a to-do list already screaming, the residue of yesterday's problems. You cannot build a disciplined life on that foundation. So, before you check your phone, before you even have coffee, you perform the morning page protocol. Take your journal. Write 3 pages longhand, and you do not stop. This is not good writing. It's not even coherent writing. It's a brain dump. It's, I'm tired. I hate this. I'm worried about the meeting. My back hurts. I need to buy milk. Why did I say that thing 5 years ago? I should really call my mom. You write whatever passes through your mind. You do not edit. You do not judge. You just transfer data. The goal is not quality. The goal is volume. Clarity through volume. You write until you've dumped all the garbage, all the trivialities, all the mental spam. You write until the muddy water runs clear. And on the other side of those 3 pages, something miraculous happens. The fog lifts. The static fades. You'll find a core thought, a real priority, suddenly emerging with stark clarity. It was always there, buried under the noise. The act of writing 3 pages of nonsense creates the space for 1 sentence of genius. Clarity through volume. It's a brutal, simple, and non-negotiable practice. But clarity isn't just a daily practice. It's a weekly one. You don't just clear the decks each morning. You also need to plot the course. This is where most men drift. They live reactively, week to week, never stepping back to see the pattern of their own lives. You will be different. You will institute the weekly review, 1 hour, once a week. Solitude. Your journal. This is your command and control session. You look back at the past 7 days. You don't just glance. You interrogate. What went well? What didn't? Where did you waste time? Where did you show courage? Where did you capitulate? You are not wallowing in regret. You are mining for data. You are extracting lessons from your own experience. Look back to move forward with purpose. Then, you design the coming week. Not with a frantic to-do list, but with intention. Based on the lessons you just extracted, what are your 3 primary objectives for the next 7 days? What specific actions will you take? What will you avoid? You are not a passenger in your life. You are the architect. The weekly review is when you pick up the blueprints. Look back to move forward with purpose. This ritual transforms you from being a victim of your calendar to being the author of your time. The Clarity Journal, the daily download, the morning dump, the weekly audit, isn't a creative exercise. It is the operational system for a disciplined mind. It is how you stop being a reactor and start being a director. It is how you silence the committee in your head and finally hear your own voice. You've cleared the static and taken command of your mind. But a sharp mind is useless without a strong vessel. It's time to forge the engine that will power your entire operation. Chapter 10. Forge the Unbreakable Self. You've cleaned the house. You've taken out the mental trash with your Clarity Journal. You've built a fortress of quiet inside your own mind. Now we take the final step. We move from having a practice of solitude to becoming a man of solitude. This is the threshold. This is where you stop doing solitude and you start being solitudinous. It becomes the very air you breathe, the ground you walk on, the operating system for your entire life. This is the integrated solitude mindset. It's no longer something you schedule for 20 minutes on a Sunday. It's the lens through which you see every decision, every interaction, every challenge. Most people live in a state of constant external connection and internal fragmentation. You will live in a state of chosen external disconnection, resulting in unshakable internal unity. Solitude is not an event. It is your ecosystem. Think of it this way: a lion in the zoo is alone in its cage. That's not solitude. That's confinement. A lion on the savannah, perched on a rock surveying its kingdom, that is solitude. It is a position of power, of perspective, of sovereignty. You are that lion. You are not hiding from the world. You are positioned above it, seeing the patterns, listening to the wind, knowing when to act and when to conserve your power. Solitude is not an event. It is your ecosystem. It is the default state from which you engage with the chaos of the world, and to which you constantly return to recalibrate. When this becomes your ecosystem, a fundamental shift occurs in how you navigate your life. You stop being a pinball, slammed by every bump and flashy light. You become the player. Look at the decisions you've made from a place of noise. The angry email you sent, the impulsive purchase you made, the commitment you agreed to out of social pressure. Those were reactions. They were dictated by the outside world. They were weak. Now imagine making every significant decision from the quiet command center you've built. The problem arises, the pressure mounts, the crowd screams its opinion, and you disconnect. You retreat into your ecosystem of solitude. You don't ask the crowd what you should do. You consult the clarity you've cultivated on the page, in the silence, on your walks. The answer may not be instant, but it will be yours. It will be clean. It will be purposeful. You are moving from reactive noise to proactive clarity. This is your new decision-making algorithm. The data points of fear, approval, and anxiety are stripped away. All that remains is the core logic of your own purpose. Is this aligned with my mission? Does this serve my values? Does this move me toward my objective? That is the sound of a man operating from an internal compass, not chasing external magnets. From reactive noise to proactive clarity. This is the most powerful competitive advantage you will ever have, and this leads to the ultimate reward. The final liberation. Most men are validation junkies. They are hooked on the likes, the compliments, the pats on the back, the silent approval of the crowd. They are outsourcing their self-worth. They are a puppet, and the world holds the strings. Your mission is to cut those strings, permanently. The man who has forged himself in solitude becomes his own source. He does not look to the crowd to tell him if he is successful, if he is right, if he is enough. He knows he has done the work. He has faced himself in the quiet and received his own verdict. You are your own source of validation. This isn't arrogance. Arrogance is a performance for others. This is quiet conviction. It is the deep, unshakable knowledge that your direction, your worth, and your identity come from within. The opinions of others become like weather. Sometimes it's sunny with praise, sometimes stormy with criticism. But you are the mountain. The weather changes. The mountain remains. When you are your own source, you are unmanipulable. You cannot be bribed with praise or threatened with criticism. You are free. You are your own source of validation. This is the bedrock of true sovereignty. The integrated solitude mindset. Decision-making from clarity, becoming your own source. This is the forging process. This is how you take the raw iron of a man dependent on the world and temper him into the unbreakable steel of a man who is built from the inside out. You are now the source. You are the command center, but a general is nothing without a territory to command. It's time to turn that power outward and build something that lasts. The blueprint is complete. The myth of constant connection has been shattered. You now see the noise for what it is, a thief of your attention, your creativity, and your self-reliance. You have the protocols, The morning silence, the thinking walk, the focus fortress, the weekly retreat. You understand that boredom is not a curse but a catalyst, that solitude is not loneliness, but the ultimate strategic advantage. You have learned to say no to the trivial many, to say yes to the vital few. You have built a system where clarity can grow, where ideas can incubate, where your own mind becomes your greatest ally. So here is your final command. In the next 24 hours, you will execute one act of strategic solitude. 1 hour, completely alone and unplugged. No devices, no agenda. Just you, your thoughts, and the silent space to hear them. You will take a walk with no destination. You will sit in a park with no phone. You will stare out a window with no purpose. This is your declaration of independence from the noise. This is the first day of your new life of focused power and unshakable calm. The world will try to pull you back in. Your job is to choose again and again the power of your own company. The art of strategic solitude is now yours. What will you create in the silence?